I make this video with no ill intent, no maliciousness, and I'm only sharing what I know. Why am I sharing? Because I'm fed up on being on the wrong end of the stick. A few facts to consider about my being poisoned. When in the hospital, the doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. They asked me if I drank anything poisonous. The doctors didn't think I'd survive. The hospital staff were surprised the night I began to recover, running around. I just turned 17 years old, naive, and it never occurred to me to pursue it. Truth be known, I was scared, and still am, of my mother and her late husband. I have no idea what the hospital did, if anything. The only person who visited me was my girlfriend at the time, who lived 45 minutes away. Depending on the poison used, any story could be made up. She never denied I was poisoned, but blames the well water being contaminated. She also alleges her and her husband became ill as well, but no evidence of it. The thing about the well water, when they built their house, they had installed a UV purification setup to make sure the drinking water would be okay. She also states she had nothing to do with it, implying what exactly? Yes, it could be implied somehow the well water temporarily became contaminated on its own. Her late husband was not happy he had to pick me up after the week I was in the hospital to bring me back to their home. Neither one of them spoke to me, not even asking how I was. I recall when I came into their place, my mother was in the kitchen standing in front of the stove with her back towards me. Neither displayed any signs of being ill, and no mention of this at the time. How would they know the well water was allegedly contaminated without tests? How were we able to drink the well water when the alleged problem was never corrected? It was a few months later when I felt well enough, I moved out on my own at 17 years old. Finally, there are the emails from early winter 2020 that made me realize that event was about the insurance trust fund. I trusted her by signing a blank document a few years after this event, and after I recall them taking trips overseas and buying stuff. So a few years after the event, the money was stolen from me. Its value when I turned 40 years old would have been in the 7 digits. You can read how she says the money was never mine to saying it was a gift from me. If it was never mine, then it couldn't be a gift from me. I never knew the money was gone until my mid to late 20s, but by then I was dealing with what the woman I married and I were caught in the middle of. There are other things I also rely on, not shared in this video, for a reason.